Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Is NVIDIA a buy after the stock split? That's the question we are going to explore in today's video. Now, there are two scenarios that I think could play out. Now, if you are an investor that wants to either initiate a position or you want to add to your position, how would those two scenarios impact your decision making? So we are going to explore those two scenarios. I will also do a technical analysis on it and from a chart perspective, how you should see the stock playing out in the next couple days. Also, there are a lot of price targets and everything is very bullish, so we'll take a look at that as well. There are a couple news items that you should be aware of, and if you enjoy today's video, make sure to give us a like, and without further ado, let's dive in. Unless you have been living under the rock, you know that NVIDIA stock split was announced right at the earnings call, and on June 7th, if you held the stock, you would be eligible for the stock split. So the stock split is 10-1. At the time of this recording, NVIDIA closed on June 7th at $1,208. So give or take, when the price opens up on Monday, June 10th, you would have a stock price of $120.80 or so. So if you held one NVIDIA stock on June 7th, you would have 10 NVIDIA stocks, each valuing at $120. So that's how the stock split works. This video, we will not discuss whether the stock split really adds value or not. This video, we are going to explore how are we going to see NVIDIA behaving in the next coming weeks and months, and how you should be able to position yourself to take advantage and build into this position. Now, most of you already know what NVIDIA does. It's a semiconductor company, and in the GPU space, they dominate the market. Here is an article which says NVIDIA owns 88% of the GPU market. For every 10 GPUs in the market, NVIDIA pretty much has about 9 GPUs. That is the dominance and that is the moat. If you are an investor who focuses on value investing, this is going to be Warren Buffett's principle of investing in a company which has business moat. In this case, it's going to be the GPU dominance. Another interesting fact is NVIDIA just crossed Apple to become the second most valuable company on planet Earth. So you have Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Apple combined together in the S&P 500. They are 20%, as you can see right here. There are 497 other companies that are worth 80% combined. Another interesting fact, if you didn't know, that these three companies combined have more market cap than China's entire stock index, which is standing at 9.2 trillion. In the last 1 year, this stock is up 222%. This stock is at its 52-week high. Forward PE ratio, this stock is at 44.59. Now, there's a lot of chatter whether NVIDIA is expensive, whether it's a value play or not. I will let you do that analysis on your side if you want to invest in this company or not. From my perspective, this is a buy for me for this company for the long term, because in the digital age, chips will play the biggest role in any electronic device. So briefly touching on the previous earning, NVIDIA beat its revenue by $1.46 billion and is bringing about $26 billion for the quarter. In Jan 2025, we will see a revenue estimate of $120 billion for the entire year, which is going to be a year-over-year growth of 97%. And we see a similar trend of 31%, 15%, 20%. It starts to decrease as the years go by, but you will see some exponential growth for this company, at least for the next 3 or 4 years or so. So let's look at the chart and then we'll talk about these two scenarios. Going back, starting of January 2024, the stock was trading somewhere in the $470, and at that time the RSI was already touching close to 70. Since that run up, RSI has remained above 70 from January to mid-February, and then it dipped briefly in the middle of February and then ran back up and stayed above 70. Effectively, this stock was in the overbought territory all the way from January to March. That's 2 months of staying overbought. And the same scenario we are seeing that at the third week of May or so, the stock went into the overbought territory and currently is still trading in the overbought. Since the earnings in February, this stock has become range bound starting March between the 850 to about 965 or so. So it had remained range bound. In this earning, when the stock split was announced, the earnings report came out, superb guidance for the next quarter as well as the full year guidance. This stock shot up all the way, beating 965 $11.45 and running all the way up to $12.08. So here are the two scenarios that I think can play out. Now, if you are planning to invest in this stock, whether you are going to build on your position or whether you're going to initiate on your position, so when the market opens on Monday, the stock will be trading around the $120 range or so. So we could still see some FOMO kicking in from retail investors or retail traders that they want to start investing and the stock keeps going higher. So in that scenario, I would not be touching the stock because I want to see these gap fills before I actually invest my money. Whenever there are gaps, maybe it takes a quarter, maybe it takes 2 quarters or even 3 quarters till that gap gets filled. And we have seen many examples. If you follow the channel or you follow my trading videos, we have talked about gap fills many times. In this particular scenario, I would not touch the stock until we see a trend where the stock has stabilized and the prices have become normal trading. Right now, the volume is elevated and you do not want to buy stocks in a FOMO, especially in these elevated environment. So that's the scenario number one. The second scenario that I think could play out when the stock becomes $120, we see some profit taking and we see a sharp sell-off on NVIDIA and the stock starts to dip below $100 and we could see the stock coming back in the range of $84 to $96. That is where I would start to nibble into and start to build my position. If that happens and you do not have a position, I would initiate my position with, let's say, one tranche. So let's say if I want to invest $10,000 in NVIDIA, I would not drop 10,000 in one go. I would do 5 tranches, 4 or 5 tranches, basically either $2,000 per buy or $2,500 per buy. So let's say if the stock dips below $100, my price target to get in would be anywhere between $84 to $96 is where I would start to get in. These are hypothetical scenarios. I don't know how it's going to play out. We will just have to continue watching and seeing how it plays out. But this is the trend that I'm thinking. Before we wrap up, here are the analyst ratings for NVIDIA. Every single analyst has a buy rating going, as far as starting of this year. So in the post-split world, this price target is $118 to $127. Price targets are anywhere between $850 to $1,200, $1,300 is a fair game from the analyst. Keep these prices in mind. And as I said, currently the stock has shot up a lot because of this massive volatility and the news around it. If you are going to be investing in NVIDIA, do not invest at elevated levels. Wait for a pullback. Think about scenario 2. If scenario 1 happens, wait and watch. Wait for the gap fill to happen. Gap fills will happen at some point in time, and that is your cue to buy into the stock. Hopefully you found some value out of today's video. NVIDIA is a generational company, and I do believe that investing in generational companies helps you build your portfolio and helps you get one step closer to that financial independence. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give us a like, click on subscribe and ring the bell notification. I will see you next time, Investor Family, but don't forget to invest for tomorrow.